Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I'm going to be checking out a little bit of Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra with a song called Hammerhead today. Now this is an interesting one for me because I have to be honest, before our previous channel got closed down, we had just, I'd just done a reaction of Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra for the first time. It had been requested for so long, and I'd been, because the thing is, I know there's lots of videos doing of them live and doing sort of, it was like studio performances and some covers I think as well, but I really wanted to hear them doing the original music video or their own music so I could hear a proper studio recording, really get a feel for what they're like. Anyway, I covered a song of theirs before and I liked the playing. This video unfortunately never got released onto the channel because the channel got closed down before it was scheduled to go live. I liked the playing on what I heard before, but I didn't really have much of a chance because it was them doing a collaboration song with another group. I forgot the name now. Tramporantan. So I didn't feel they got much room to, if you like, sort of express their own identity on that. So hearing this was brilliant. Fully fledged out music video, really obviously all of them having a chance to do their solos and everything and really go crazy on it. I really enjoyed this. I mean, obviously, it very much is in line with what you'd expect from ska. Now, ska, I say this with in the nicest possible way, but ska is a genre that doesn't have as much variation in it as maybe some other genres. There are some fairly strict rules to how it works, and so, you know, this has that sort of backbeat-driven guitar and things like that. However, what was really nice is that they did, if you like, they did that jazz formula for an instrumental where you have a refrain that it comes back to, but then you have little breaks where maybe each section, maybe like the brass section or maybe one instrumentalist gets to do a solo or gets to do something that really gives distinction to that particular part of the song. Now, as a result, I think that this really highlighted a couple of things. First of all, it highlighted how good they are as musicians. I love the keyboard solo. It was twiddle-tastic. I'm not usually into twiddle, but what I liked about that is it really fit in as a contrast to the other parts, and it also helped because he was working his way up the scale, sort of working to drive the song onwards, give it some more build-up towards the next part. And, you know, this is the thing, each solo felt very different. The guitar felt like it was doing something where when it was supporting, it was really good. It was there supporting the rest of the song. And when it went to do its own thing, it stood out. The brass section obviously is very important for any of these ska bands. You really need the brass on point, and they were fantastic as well. You know, great work with like saxophones as well. I know saxophone's not brass, but you know, the saxophone and the trumpets and everything. Yeah, there was a real sort of feeling that everything was connected. And I would compare this a little bit to actually how I feel about Wagaki Band, and that it felt like everything was kind of going at once and everything was very full, but everything knew when to step to the front and when to step back. When sort of instruments step back into the, if you like, the core of the arrangement, the backing part of the arrangement, it felt like they belonged. There was no sense of clutter. Nothing felt overly thick. Everything felt like it was working together, like it was all fitting in perfectly and fitting in place. So that's the sort of similarity I felt there. Obviously the difference that you have with a song like this is when you have no clear leading instrument like you do in a vocally led song, like bands like Wagaki Band have, where you've got a singer, you then have something where it can become a little bit difficult to, if you like, have a solid narrative throughout the song. And I say narrative not necessarily in a story way, but just sort of a consistent thread that you can follow. And this is kind of important, I think. You know, a song should sort of start and end in a certain place. What this did instead is it kind of just kept you on your toes by changing constantly. And that, again, this is a way that you can write an instrumental song. You can do instrumental songs like this where the idea is that it just changes enough to keep you on your toes. I think in that sense, this really worked. You know, it was always changing. It had little key changes here and there. It had little bits where it broke down and then it built back up. It was always sort of keeping itself fresh. I think that's a very knowing thing as well. There's a greatness to that sort of approach. So there's nothing that you can really say about this song stands out as being, oh, I've never heard that before. However, it feels like a perfect execution of how to do a ska instrumental. Like I say, when you're working with ska, again, no disrespect to ska as a genre, it's a genre that I like a lot, and I like when sometimes it comes into it mixes with other genres and you get some really great crossovers. But when you're doing something like this, which is real raw ska, you have got a limited palette of what sort of rhythms and things you can work with. And given that, I think this is about as interesting an instrumental as you could ask for. It's got a clear refrain. It's got a clear bit it goes back to. It's got some fantastic soloing, which is all very varied from one instrument to the next. It makes the most out of the instruments they have. The core of the song is nicely held together. The playing is excellent. It's brilliant. It's just that, like I say, it's one of those ones where if this came on, or if I was really looking for a ska song, I would put this on and it would be brilliant. However, I don't think this is one of those songs that is going to sort of come back into your mind every 5 seconds going, hey, you know what? This is one that you should listen to regularly. Because, like I say, I think the thing is that if you put this in a playlist of other really good ska songs, I think it would be great. But I think it's, like I say, it's very hard to see this as standing out from a sea of other ska songs, except for just in pure quality. You know, it's a really good example of that. I hope this makes sense. It's a really hard one to explain. Just trying to sort of, if you like, think about what circumstances would you go, I really want to listen to this particular song. I think you'd have to be in a ska mood where you were just listening to a lot of ska already, rather than it would just be something you'd pick out of a random collection of music. That's just my feeling, at least. So if you're in a ska mood and you're on a ska day and you're driving in the sunshine listening to ska, this is the ska for you. Ska for your car. Anyway, this, like I said, this was a really enjoyable piece, and I'm really glad to get to check it out. I think that as well, the video really helped. It had a really cool, strong video. It's nice to see that these guys are really fun and clearly enjoying what they're doing. Their sort of over-top overacting was brilliant as well. It's really great when you see musicians who can be fun on a music video. It's easy for a singer to do it because you're just free to walk around and do whatever you want. When you see musicians making music look fun, I really love that. I love when they can do that. And so there was a real joy to seeing how they pulled this off, how they did the music video as well. Nice, colourful, bright, really matched the tone. It kind of reminded me a little bit, actually thinking of ska again, it reminded me a bit of the videos the ORCHESTRA band do, which are always really fun and bright from what I've seen. So it kind of reminded me of that vibe, which was really cool. So anyway, yeah, big credit where it's due. That was a really enjoyable song. And anyway, so I'm hoping to hear more of them. I don't know how much original music they actually have. I've been told they got more than I can actually find on YouTube, but guys, as always, you're welcome to give recommendations. That's what the Reddit suggestion thread's for, but you can also give some suggestions as well. I mean, I always look at Reddit first of all, but you can also give suggestions on our Discord, which is where we're chatting about music all the time anyway. But please, whether you know this band or not, whether you know this song or not, whether you like it or not, please get in the comments and join the discussion. We'd like to talk about music here. If you can like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated as well. And massive thanks to our Patreon supporters who've helped so much with getting the channel back on its feet after the close down and the rebuild up. So all I can say, massively appreciated. Thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video soon, hopefully. But for now, thank you so much for joining me. Ciao, ciao.